So the first tip I want to go over is basically building with your blueprints out. This is really useful mainly because it's going to help you out with piece control. So if you're in a build fight or something, you know an enemy's in front of you, and you're tracking them, trying to cone them or something. If you constantly are pulling out your shotgun or your AR and then pulling out your builds again, you're actually getting a slight delay. So say I want to place a cone over my enemy right here. If I do this, then edit, then pull out my builds and make something like this, there's going to be more of a delay and the enemy's going to have more of a chance to pull out his shotgun and shoot me. So what you want to do instead is go like this, place the cone, edit, then build, and then shoot. So it's just going to be more efficient that way. There's not going to be the delay that you get from stopping to pull out your shotgun. So what you want to take away from this is that editing with your blueprints out is extremely valuable and will win you a lot of fights because you're going to have less of a delay when you go for piece control. So yeah. Sheesh. Alright, so this next tip is super important and probably going to be a surprise to some people. So basically, the tip is utilize L2, or L2 if you play on Xbox. So I know they removed legacy control settings, whatever, back in Season 2, but that doesn't mean that tapping L2 to reset your aim is a bad idea. So I do it all the time, and the most common situation is when I'm tracking someone who's like falling down in front of me. So this little dummy example here should work well. Basically, if I hold down ADS the whole time, I can't track this guy fast enough when he's falling. So what I want to do instead is kind of tap LT so that I can track him on the way down. So basically, because my normal sensitivity is faster than my ADS sensitivity, it allows me to actually follow this guy all the way down. Whereas if I was just holding down ADS the whole time, I wouldn't be able to. So give this a try. If you don't have really good control over your normal sensitivity, it might be a little difficult at first, but I promise you this is a really helpful tip, and I would try and practice this as much as possible. I'll leave the map code in the description below if you want to practice in this exact scenario. So yeah. Alright, so for this next tip, this is not just one that's important for Fortnite, this is kind of important for any shooting game in general, but I figured it's one that I should go over regardless because I think it's pretty important. So this tip is basically to make sure that your crosshair is centered. I see a lot of players walking around like this. They're looking down, you know, and it's pretty common because if you're always looting, right? So you're looking down trying to pick stuff up. But really, if you're not looting, it's actually way better to be like this. Keep your crosshair centered. And the reason why this is better is because, so say there's an enemy right in front of you. So if I'm shooting at this dummy right here, and I'm, you know, coming across like this, I gotta lift up my crosshair and be a lot more precise. I gotta do a lot more aiming, basically. Whereas if I have my crosshair centered, I can just kind of peek like this and slide my crosshair over. It's a lot less movement, and it'll make you a lot more accurate. So a good way to practice this, and granted, this is not a good way to play all the time, but I think it is a decent little tip, is actually by turning off your crosshair. So let me go ahead and do this. Reticle off. So you can see I have no crosshair right now. I said it. Basically what this will teach you is how to center your screen so that you're aiming directly at your target. This way you won't rely so much on your crosshair. Instead, you'll be more apt to aim basically without it. So I've done this quite a few times, and I have to say, sometimes I feel like I play better without the crosshair. Not when I'm tracking with my AR, but when I'm using my shotgun, I actually do feel like my aim tends to be better. And I'm sure that's not going to be the case for everyone, but either way, I think it's something that's worth trying out, because it'll help you aim by centering your screen rather than focusing so much on your crosshair. And especially if you're trying to, you know, do what I said before, center your crosshair more, not look down all the time. This will help you out with that too. Okay, so this next tip is kind of a 2-in-1 here. But basically the tip is make sure to not go up to an opponent's wall and swing multiple times. Any decent player, or even just average player these days, is gonna edit on you and shoot you in the face. So what you wanna do instead, or what I tend to do, is when I drop down on a wall, I place 2 cones like this, so I can kind of swing at this wall or this wall. And if they edit out and try and piece control me like this, I'll be able to have this wall here, or I'll be able to just back up so they won't get me in this box. So yeah, when you're going to take someone's wall, swing once, kind of wait, see what they do, or even spray your AR, keep your distance. Because a lot of times, especially if the opponent's weak and they have like no materials or something, their last resort will just be to like edit and just run straight at you. So if you swing your pickaxe once, kind of back up and wait to see what they do, they might edit out and you can get a pretty easy shot because they'll be very vulnerable. So the second part to this tip is if they don't edit out and you do replace the wall, make sure that when you edit, you're not like all the way over here when you complete it. So finding your right edit sensitivity will help with this. But basically what I mean is when you finish your edit, you want to be on your opponent so you don't have to move too far and flick too much, because if you do that, you're going to end up missing your shot 9 times out of 10, trust me. This also kind of comes with that centering your crosshair tip. That will help a lot with this, but it's a really useful tip to know. It'll make you hit your shots a lot more consistent, because building, editing, and shooting, it's kind of hard to all coordinate together. But if you can get used to this tip, it's really going to help you out a lot. Alright, that's all the tips I got for today. If any of these helped you out, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more tip videos. I definitely have more that I would like to share. And let me know what other kind of videos you'd like to see as well. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you soon.